Hello everyone, my name is Special K and welcome to the first video of Beginner's Guide to League of Legends. I've got my friend Chad here with me, if you want to say something.
How's it going, guys?
He was my roommate for 3, 4 years, I don't know, not important. But he's a very good LoL player and he wants to show the new players how to play each of the 5 main roles in League of Legends. Is that how many there were?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
I mean, that's how it fits into the current meta.
What do you mean by that?
Um, there wasn't really a meta in season one, and then in season two, there was a definite meta formed in which characters of certain roles would go into certain lanes and fill out different positions. And even though you're not forced to play that way, if you ever want to play ranked and try to be competitive, it's you have a better chance of winning by playing the meta. And
Okay.
in the current meta, there's a top lane, which is usually a bruiser. There's a mid lane, which is usually an AP carry, but sometimes you can throw an AD assassin in it. Then your jungler, and then your bot lane, which is your AD carry and your support.
So what role are you going to be showing us on this first video?
Today I'm playing Garen top lane.
And okay, well, I think the video is about to start. Um, so I'll let you take it away. By I guess you can explain what top lane is supposed to do, and I'm sure you can do it by yourself. Go ahead. Go.
Uh, as you can see, I'm going with a pretty standard start for top lane, which is boots and 3 health pots. Before about the last patch, you could run a different setup, but the that setup kind of got nerfed, and bringing it back to making boots and 3 pots the best start. Unless you play certain like niche characters.
Your character looks really fat. Sorry. He does. Look, he's slow. Whoa, 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 whoa. Go ahead.
He hurts though. Garen, he's a cheap champion. He's only 3,150 IP, I believe. He's a good beginner champion. I mean, his skill cap isn't too high, and he's safe enough to where you're not going to be in too much trouble if you lose your lane.
I've heard you talk about that before. So losing your lane, it means you lose your tower, right?
No, it can mean a whole variety of things, from being killed more often to being out farmed to losing your tower. But I think the most important thing I can stress to any any new player in this game is to learn the difference between losing your lane and feeding. Because even if you're doing bad and he's beating you in every fight, you can lose your lane without feeding, which means you can still farm. You may be behind in farm, but at least you're not dying. And that's more important than anything you can do.
Because that just gives the opposing character a lot of gold.
Yeah, because like there's a difference between being fed and being farmed. Being farmed is a good thing. It's something you always want to go for. But once they're fed, it creates a huge problem for your entire team. So I can't stress like how important it is to not die. Like even if you're gonna be behind by 20, 30 CS, just don't die.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're gonna try to start doing a thing that you guys like to call last hitting.
Correct. Just waiting till it gets down to one single auto attack, and that way you don't push the lane.
Okay.
Because the less you push your lane, the more opportunity for your jungler to come out of the jungle and gank, which will give you elite.
Ganking is coming up behind some a player, right?
Correct.
And okay.
And like if you see those minions that are dying in the background, I'm letting them die rather than take harass. Because again, you don't want to, get out traded too easily, because then you get put behind.
Okay, so I see you got your 4 main skills. How do you decide to when and where to level them up? I guess.
It varies between characters, and then depending on how you're doing in lane, some skills are better to level up first than others.
So for Garen, what's your basic strategy here?
Start with your Q, because it'll help you out in level 1 fights, and then max your E first with your Q second.
Okay.
And if you notice, I'm just going in, trying to do a little bit of damage and get out. And the character I'm playing is probably the cheapest character in the game. Not the one I'm playing, the one I'm playing against. In terms, like, everyone hates him.
So he's OP?
No, he's not OP. He's... Because if you have someone who can kite him, he gets destroyed. But he's OP against melee. It's a pain in the ass to face him.
Okay.
Like, here you see now my jungler's coming to gank. Give me an advantage. And even though we didn't get a kill, it's still a good gank because it sets him behind now. Because now he's low, and he can't harass me as much.
And he's gonna be out of XP range?
Correct.
Okay.
He's gonna lose XP and he's losing farm now.
Okay. I notice Garen doesn't have any mana. Is that...
Correct. He's all about cooldowns. And that's one of his advantages, is you're not gonna run out of mana in lane. And if you look at Darius, he stole the blue buff from his jungler, and that kind of hurt me because he now has infinite mana and lower cooldowns. Normally that won't happen, but since he got the blue buff early, he's had a whole advantage for the last 4 minutes.
And usually that's sort of a bad play on, like...
Oh yeah, no, he hurt his jungler, which is Nocturne. That set his jungler back a lot, because usually blue buff is really important for the early game jungle.
And you said it just gives you a lot more mana?
It's mana regen and cooldown reduction.
Okay. Alright, so you're just still being a basic nuisance?
Yeah, I'm trying to harass him when I can, and even if I don't want to fight, if he harasses me, I throw a little bit at him before running away. And here's another gank by our jungler.
What's that crosshair on his head?
He was pinging for letting me know that he wants to attack him.
Oh, okay.
Engage in the fight.
So what's the top lane's basic overall role? Is it any different from the other ones in the aspect? Are you trying to stay in the lane as much as possible?
Top lane it's a real snowball lane, meaning whoever gets that first blood usually will dominate the lane. And even though I didn't get the kill, I got an assist and I got a little farm advantage on him. And as far as build wise for Garen, I built the 2 long swords and cloth armor. That way I got a good amount of damage and a little bit of armor to negate some of Darius' damage.
So
normally I would highly recommend getting a ward to place in the river to avoid another jungler gank from the enemy.
And a ward is something that takes away the fog of war or whatever they call it in LoL.
Correct.
Okay.
But in this game I was confident I can get away from Nocturne if he came, so I chose not to get a ward and instead get the cloth armor.
And you buy all your items depending on who you're facing, correct? And the dynamic
Correct.
of the game at hand?
Correct.
Okay.
See, just enough just to poke him and get back. Try and keep the trades even.
Fear not, I'm coming.
With Darius, you never want to go for an all-out fight unless you got a good advantage, because he's a really cheesy champ. Like right now, I'm avoiding fighting him while farming.
Because as long as you're getting XP.
Correct. Staying within XP range and grabbing my farm when I can. And he's right now trying to zone me out.
Zone you out, meaning getting you out of the XP
last hit range.
Okay.
You can't get me out of XP range, but you can get me out of last hitting.
How far is XP range?
I don't know the actual number on it, but it's pretty far.
Pretty far is a good explanation.
I keep it scientific.
So you seem to be going for E very highly.
Yeah, it's his strongest ability.
What does it do?
It's just it's a spin, which makes you attack once every second for 6 seconds, doing a percentage of your attack damage.
Is that the AoE spin?
Correct.
Okay.
And over here, our jungler cut their jungler, kind of trying to counter jungle.
Oh, so you came over to...
Came over to help out. Map awareness is a very big factor in this game. So no matter what's going on in your lane, always pay attention to the mini-map.
Nice. So are you playing with friends, or is this just like a...
This is a completely random game.
Completely random game.
See, we're gonna go in again. He flashes out, and most people they'll think it's a fail gank, but it actually works out because now his summoner's down, and I can count that out of his arsenal for the next 3 minutes.
It's different watching somebody else play this game. It's a lot different than I would ever think to play it.
And this is kind of a boring lane, just because of how strong he is at dueling people. I can't really fight him. I gotta play like a little bitch, basically.
Enemy killing spree.
Well, it looks like you've got the definite upper hand. I mean, as far as pushing wise.
Yeah, he likes to push his lane, or at least he did in the beginning, which helped me out, keeping Nocturne from being able to gank me.
But now now since you pushed up, you've got to watch your back.
Yeah, now I gotta be careful, because I'm past that point where it can go bad for me.
I bring justice. Forge onward.
So are you doing good at last hitting? Like, is this a basic mid-range?
It's okay. It's not great. I'm missing a lot of them because I can't really get in melee range with him.
Because he immediately attacks.
Right here, Nocturne ganks. I'm able to flash away and get out of his fear.
Flash is one of your secondary abilities?
The summoner spell.
Summoner spell, okay.
Done a 300-second cooldown.
And that just teleports you, it's like a blink. It blinks you out of the area, just faster. Okay.
And you'll notice here, rather than stay in my tower and die, I'm mainly just staying in range, waiting for Darius to leave. I've noticed a lot of people who are newer to the game, they'll stay in their tower thinking they can survive it, and they'll get dived and end up giving up a kill.
Yeah, you got about 6 last hits right there.
To protect our land.
And we notice that the top lane, he's gone back, so now we're going to push it and try to get some damage on the tower.
And this is your jungler you're running with?
Right.
Okay, so he obviously went back to base to buy or something?
Correct. And at this point, he wanted to take the tower, so we stayed for it.
Unfortunately, that didn't work out too well for him.
We got a tower, which is global gold for the team, and we got, 1-for-1 kills. So it was in our favor.
Okay, okay.